evening. Breaking news on this hour 18. A convicted serial fraudster is back behind bars in Chicago, accused of stealing the identities of dead people to cash in. Among her alleged victims, a 7-year-old boy who was shot and killed in 2015. CBS 2 political investigator Dana Kozlov live in our street-side studio with late-breaking details. Dana.
Brad, this 33-page federal indictment came down late this afternoon. It details how IRS agents were able to untangle her web of deceit as she allegedly preyed on people's tragedies again. Amari Brown was just 7 years old when he was shot and killed on a Humboldt Park sidewalk in 2015. But 5 years after his death, April 2020, a woman known as Katrina Pierce claimed him as a dependent on an IRS tax return. What Katrina Pierce didn't know is that IRS agents were already looking into her. Months earlier, a suspicious employee at the Cook County Office of Vital Records tipped them off after noticing a woman with the same name had asked for death certificates for 4 people, claiming to be a relative of each. A quick search showed Katrina Pierce had actually requested 37 death certificates in all, and she got at least 26 of them from people ranging in age from 2 to 22 years old. Amari Brown believed to be among them. Prosecutors say Pierce used the death certificates to file more than a dozen false tax returns in 2020 and 2021, including 2 different returns for Amari. IRS agents tracked down a Southside address used on the applications and found these handwritten notes in the trash, listing the names of deceased people along with how they died. And her scheme didn't stop there. Pierce also applied for 6 fake Small Business Administration loans, but didn't get any money because the feds suspected fraud. She also tried to use a shooting victim's ID to get COVID stimulus money. Pierce got out of prison 2.5 years ago after serving 9 years for filing for 180 fraudulent tax returns and again stealing people's identities. More.
She's been doing this for a long time. She has been doing this for a very, very long time. And I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Woman posed as relative of young Chicago homicide victim to collect tax refunds, COVID-19 stimulus payments, feds say. Southside woman has been hit with federal charges, fraud charges alleging she obtained death certificates of a dozen of young Chicago murder victims, but claiming she was a relative and later used their stolen identities to collect thousands of dollars, tax returns, tax refunds, and COVID-19 stimulus payments. Among the victims of the scam, allegedly perpetrated by Katrina Pierce, was Amari Brown, a 7-year-old boy fatally shot in the Humboldt Park neighborhood on July 4, 2015, according to a criminal complaint made public Thursday in U.S. District Court, charging Pierce with wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. The 34-page complaint alleged Pierce, 50, had posed as Amari's aunt when requesting his death certificate in 2019, then used the stolen information to file a fraudulent tax return that garnered $4,500 refund check from the IRS. Pierce was arrested Tuesday and appeared before U.S. Magistrate Judge Young Kim, who ordered her to be held in custody pending trial. Court records show the preliminary hearing was scheduled for Tuesday. Wow. Pierce's court-appointed attorney could not immediately be reached for comment. According to prosecutors, Pierce was sentenced in 2012 to 11 years in federal prison for using stolen identities and other fraudulent documents to steal more than $200,000 in federal tax refunds and state child care benefits. In a sentencing memo from the case, the prosecutors called her a career con artist who started her life of crime shoplifting as a teenager and quickly moved on to forgery, food stamp fraud, and identity theft. Despite being blessed with considerable innate abilities, she has made her life's work stealing from others, prosecutors wrote at the time. Pierce was still on supervised release when she was arrested on new charges, court records show. On Thursday, the 2011 fraud case was reassigned to U.S. District Judge Elaine Bucklow for a finding on possible violations of the terms of her release. Pierce's latest alleged fraud scheme was first detected in November 2019 by an employee at the Cook County Vital Records Bureau who noticed that Pierce had submitted requests for 4 death certificates in one day. Wow. 4 death certificates in one day? She wasn't that smart. But this is disgusting, really. This is just plain disgusting. Wow. Claiming to be the sister of each of the descendants, even though they had different last names, according to the complaint, which was filed under seal on September 9th. A check of the Bureau's database revealed that Pierce had requested a total of 37 death certificates in 2019 alone, and succeeded in obtaining 26 of them, according to the complaint. All of them were for homicide victims ranging from 2 to 22 years old, mostly from Chicago's South and West Side, the complaint stated. In January 2020, IRS agents went to the 2 flat listed as the return address in Pierce's applications. In a trash can behind the building, they found discarded handwritten notes listing the names of deceased persons as well as the manner in which they died, such as shot, stabbed, or fall, the complaint alleged. Images of some of the notes included in the charges showed the words "try to rob" scribbled next to the name of the 19-year-old murder victim. The charges alleged Pierce used the death certificate information to qualify for earned income or child tax credits on false tax returns she later filed under fictitious names and businesses. She also used the information to illegally collect thousands of dollars in stimulus payments related to COVID-19 payments, according to the complaint. Wow. Damn. In one such instance, Pierce held a bogus tax return for a 22-year-old man who was fatally shot in St. Louis in 2019, listing $1 in income, even though he had been dead for more than a year, the charges alleged. Based on that return, the IRS then issued several COVID-19 stimulus payments to LS, 2 for $1,200, one for $600, and the other for $1,400, according to the complaint. The checks were sent to Pierce's mailing address, which she had included on the tax return for 2020, according to the complaint. In April 2020, the IRS received a tax return for a woman named Regine Pierce, which was the alias Pierce had used in a prior criminal case. The bogus taxpayer reported $1 in income from a fake beauty salon so that she could claim eligibility for pandemic relief. Oh, man, that's... Do you don't understand PPP loans? They just do that to just trap you for fraud. Investigators searched IRS records and found multiple stimulus payments totaling $3,200 had been issued to Rojana Pierce in 2020 and 2021, the complaint said. On the signature page of the return, Pierce listed the salon's address, 494 S Street, which was an address at the former Robert Taylor Homes, a residential housing project torn down years before the filing, according to the charges. Wow. Investigators believe Pierce was using multiple bank accounts under various names to launder any ill-gotten gains, the complaint alleged. Over a 6-month period in 2020, for example, Pierce deposited nearly $84,000 into just one of the accounts, which was more than double the income she listed for a whole year in her 2020 tax return. Damn. Yeah, this woman was a straight-up fool. Straight up. In that return, the charges alleged Pierce listed her occupation as quality assurance The alleged scheme contains many similarities to Pierce's previous federal conviction. Court records show between January 2007 and July 2008, Pierce obtained fraudulent identification documents, including driver's license, birth certificates, and social security cards that had her photo next to the names and personal identifying information of dead people. Wow. So then they used the fake ideas to misappropriate funds from the coffers of her country, cheat programs designed to benefit children and working parents, and swindle government across the nation, all to enrich herself, prosecutors said at the time. Stealing was her full-time occupation. She was good at it, prosecutors wrote in their sentencing memo. Unfortunately, you're going to have these... Wow. Chicago is really a crap hole. It surely is. All right, later.